What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have another free pick on deck for you for this Tuesday's MLB playoff slate. We are kicking off the MLB playoffs on October 1st, looking to pick up some good winners. This MLB season has been absolutely awesome for us. Typically, I'm an NFL college basketball guy. Those pretty consistently are my top sports year in and year out. However, this MLB season, we are flirting with a 60-unit season. It's been unbelievable. It's going to be my highest MLB season ever, and it's not over. MLB playoffs is a good time to make some money. The lines are tight, but if you know what you're doing, if you know how to find some value, it can be a good spot to profit even further. Maybe we can pick up an additional 10 units on the MLB playoffs and do a 70-unit season in MLB. That would be absolutely awesome, but it starts with day one. Now, we have been reliant on the football picks recently. We have football picks up on Twitter, collab picks up on Twitter. If you want to follow our Twitter, it's at RealStatBets. We give out Discord live free picks, and then obviously we have been pretty focused on NFL and college football when giving you guys out free picks on the YouTube channel as well. All of those combined, we've been red hot with the free picks, guys. All social media platforms combined, including the YouTube, is 30-16 in our last 46 free picks. And we're going to start it off with an MLB playoff winner. Now, this is the slate for tomorrow. We have some good games on decks: the Tigers, the Astros, the Royals, the Orioles, the Mets, the Brewers, and the Braves, Padres. And I am going to what I think is debatably going to be the worst series to watch of the four, but sometimes you got to get a little gross to find winners. We are going over to the Mets and Brewers game, and we are going to be backing the Brewers on the money line. My computer's lagging out a little bit, but we are backing the Brewers on the money line at minus 130. Minus 130 Brewers on the money line. Once again, shop your lines. We'll go over here and show you guys just so you can get the best lines as well in a minute. But if we take a look at these four games, there is a common theme, and this is not new to the MLB playoffs. This is typically what we see in the MLB playoffs. But the total runs are 6.5, 7 juice to the under, 7.5, and 7 juice to the under as well. Even that 6.5 number is juice to the under. Now, why is this in the MLB playoffs? Well, in the MLB playoffs, it is very, very competitive, and it is pitching dominant, right? You want to back the teams with better pitching, with better rested bullpens, and a better defense. That is what get teams to the World Series and ultimately to win the World Series. Pitching is everything in the playoffs, and that is reflected in these totals being so low, right? These teams are not used to seeing totals these low. A lot of aces are on the bump as well for game one. Game one's an important one to get the job done, but this Mets-Brewers game is sitting at 7.5. A reason for this is the Mets just played a doubleheader yesterday against the Braves to get into the playoffs. They won game one, but they had to use a ton of their bullpen arms, whereas the Brewers got to sit on their couch since Sunday. They've been rested, and they got to watch the Mets and the Braves play a doubleheader to figure out who they were going to be playing. So they have the rest advantage here. And it's also important to note that the Mets are actually one of the worst teams in the MLB with a negative 11% ROI with a rest disadvantage. Once again, rest disadvantage meaning they are less rested than their opponent in terms of days off. Once again, Mets played yesterday, Brewers did not. Brewers have the rest advantage going into this one. We'll also take a look just at some key statistics here. So when we look at the Mets and the Brewers overall, on the straight up money line history here, we can see that the Brewers are 49-32 as a home team, and the Mets are 32-48 as the away team. This is a struggle spot for the Mets. They don't travel well, and they've been on 2 home stands, so they've been traveling a lot recently, and now they have to come back to Milwaukee after just playing there about a week ago. Also, as a favorite, the Brewers are 49-35, and as an underdog, the Mets are 21-46. Those stand out to me a ton, right? The Brewers are favored for a reason in this game, and this line is shifting for a reason as well. This line opened around that plus 120. Actually, no, it opened at about that plus 105 mark, and since then, the Mets line has creeped all the way up to plus 120 in some spots and plus 115 in others. It's important to shop lines in the MLB playoffs, especially the MLB playoffs, because these lines get very tight, and knowing where you want to go with your predictions. A big thing with this is closing line movement and getting the best value you possibly can. Now, we'll take a look at these starters, right? So it's going to be Luis Severino on the bump for the Mets and Freddie Peralta on the bump for the Brewers. Now, both these bullpens have had pretty decent years. They've helped their teams win a few games, no doubt. And both these starters as well have had pretty decent years. But we'll take a look at some key statistics here. So in terms of average WOBA, launch angle, and expected batting average, The edge goes to Freddie Peralta, right? His average is 200. That's his average against the current Mets roster. So every current player on the Mets roster, his WOBA is 0.32. That is almost, or that's actually over 80 points better or 80 cents better than Luis Severino's against the current Brewers roster. His launch angle as well, 14.5% as opposed to Luis Severino's 21% launch angle. Now, Luis Severino's launch angle at 21 is one of the highest of his career since 2015, and this is concerning in the playoffs because it only takes 1 or 2 home runs or 1 or 2 deep shots for your team to be able to pull away, especially when we're seeing these lower total games, right? This launch angle, meaning the Brewers have more ability, will have more opportunities to elevate the ball and hopefully find a home run or a long ball, as opposed to the Mets finding a long ball off of Freddie Peralta. He's been very good at inducing double plays, and he's been very good at limiting walks and hits with runners in scoring position. And that is what has led the Mets to find success this season, is they have been good with runners in scoring position, but this is going to be countered once again by Freddie Peralta, who's been one of the better pitchers in his division at limiting this specific scenario. Also, his expected batting average is 0.227. Severino's is 0.241. However, Luis Severino actually has the edge here in the slugging percentage. A reason for this is the Brewers have actually faced more power-hitting teams than the Mets have. So it's that simple. Don't look too much into that statistic, honestly. But his expected slugging is a little bit concerning just because it's high. However, his launch angle should combat that and help him force more ground balls. Also, we'll go over here to the bullpens. As we talked about again, key story here is how well rested are the Mets actually going to be for this, especially their bullpen. They were in an absolute barn burner. Game 1 against Atlanta, had to use a bunch of their good arms just to get that win. Now they have to travel to the Brewers Stadium the same day or the same night and go play a playoff game. So if we look at the Brewers, they are pretty well rested, right? They have Devin Williams, their ace closer. He's ready to go with only 14 pitches in their last 3. He's been as consistent as ever. Trevor McGill's been good this year at only 14 pitches. Aaron Ashby used to be a starter for them. He only is at 11 pitches. And then Holby Miller and Joe Ross are 2 early relief guys. Not easily replaceable, but more replaceable than a closer or a late reliever. And those are the only 2 guys that have been used somewhat substantially. Now, if we go down here all the way to the Mets, we can see that Phil Maton, Danny Young, Adam Ottavino, Edwin Diaz, Reed Garrett, and almost Jose Butto all have 20 pitches in the last 3 days. Now, this doesn't seem like a ton of pitches for a relief pitcher or a closer, but it is, right? These guys are not used to throwing multiple innings or 20-plus pitch innings. They're used to 1 inning, maybe 1.5 innings, maybe 2 innings, and getting in and out of there under 20 pitches. And this is going to be a concern, right? When most of their top guys, except one, Ryan Stanek, who they got from the Astros, is close to that 20 mark or over that 20 mark, especially Edwin Diaz. Now, Edwin Diaz has had a little bit of a down year, but he's sitting at 26 pitches, and he's going to be their closer here in the playoffs. Phil Maton as well, 38 pitches. Adam Ottavino has been one of their early relief guys. He's at 26 pitches. The key to this, meaning Luis Severino is going to have to go deep into this game, and Luis Severino's current numbers against the Brewers lineup have not been excellent. With all that being said, guys, we are rocking with the Brewers on the money line, minus 125. If you guys are looking to get all of our plays every single day, including NFL multi-unit plays, MLB playoffs will be red hot, hop into the link in our bio or go to our WAP.com website. Get any package. Our prices have been dropped and they will stay there. Looking to get more people on board for the NFL season, the college football season, and the college basketball season. We absolutely crushed the college basketball season as well. My favorite sport to bet on personally. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in there. Best of luck as always. Peace.